Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for coming to welcome us. Today we are in county number 36 in terms of Jukwaa la Usalama. No, 36. 36. Oh, this is county number 37 in the oh, it's almost coinciding. Yeah, in terms of Jukwaa la Usalama Baraza, we would actually have been here tomorrow if it was not for another assignment, so it would have been 37 tomorrow. This is the county number 36 we are visiting since we started Jukwaa la Usalama, and I just want to say that it's been a great journey, starting all the way from county number 1 in Mombasa, and everywhere we have visited, we have had very robust critical analysis of the security situations in every county. We start with security meeting, and as you can see, we have had 1.5 hours meeting with our regional and county security team. The idea is to realign our vision, to get security briefing, and to prepare ourselves for really what is very important, which is reorganizing our plans and strategies to deliver to the people of Kenya. It's also followed then by the Jukwaa la Usalama Forum itself, where we engage the rest of the county security officers, from the assistant chief, OCSs, ACCs, DCCs, commanders at a different level. And the idea is to make sure that, again, what we have discussed during the security meeting, we farm it up by getting more information and strategies on how to make our county safe. Kakamega is one of our largest counties in the country, highly populated, with 12 constituencies. And Kakamega is also a very strategic regional headquarters, and therefore very strategic for our country. In terms of economic contribution, a number of factories are here. Farming is a very important economic activity in this county, and there's a lot of business and trade between Kakamega and the neighboring counties. It makes, therefore, Kakamega a very strategic county of interest. And when the Kakamega coughs, many of the areas in the country catch cold. And it's important for us to make sure that this county is safe and this region is safe. The biggest challenge, and I want to speak today for Kakamega, but also for the country, that when I came to office, I was given a brief when I assumed office less than 10 months ago. I think 9 months ago. I was given a brief about the extent of gangs in the country. And at that point in time, there was a real problem in Mumias area, Mumias East, West, and Butere. And then subsequently, there was an incident that happened there during a burial of a former chief, and then followed by also a situation that we found ourselves in, which is, we realized that every politician was now upping their game in terms of recruiting goons and utilizing gangs that are existing for different purposes. Let me say this, and this is globally, as a figure for the country. Whereas in other parts of the country, gangs and goons are prevalent in urban areas. That is places like Nairobi, some parts of Machakos, the urban and peri-urban. In Kiambu, the urban areas. In Kajiado, the urban areas. As I said, in Nakuru, the urban areas. In Mombasa, where is basically urban, and in the fairly urban areas of Kwale. There is something very unique about Western region. It is the prevalence of goons and gangs everywhere, not just in urban areas. From where I came from in Mumias, not Mumias, Busia, to Bungoma, and now here. And the same problem is fairly prevalent in Kitale, which is an impact from the part of the Western region. There is a proliferation of gangs and goons, not just in urban areas, but all the way to rural areas. And this is really not acceptable. And these gangs and goons are being fueled by many factors, cultural issues, the prevalence of drugs and alcohol. In fact, the acceptability of use of drugs and alcohol. In fact, the defense of Chang'a is highly defended in this region than any other part of the country. And then now, it is perpetuated by political interest. Nearly every political player in Western region has goons or gangs. And this incentivizes the growth and the proliferation of goods. An MCA has up to 100 people that they walk around with and they call their gangs. The scale goes up. MPs up to 200, 300, depending on their capacity, up to 500. The same to county leaders. You now moves from 500 to 1,000 to 2,000. And this has actually made goonsism and gangs business become very prevalent because it is paying with a stipend every time there's an event along weekends. Therefore, if we have to dismantle the goons and gangs, we need a full cooperation of the elected and aspiring leaders in this region. This is a conversation. It will not end with Jukwaa la Usalama today. I would want to come back to have a meeting with opinion leaders, church leaders, other opinion leaders, other elected and aspiring leaders. We must, all of us, have a honest conversation that we do not want to have any part of Kenya, and particularly our region, become a place where gangs and goons are prevailing. But that does not mean that we will abdicate our responsibility from the security sector. From our security meeting this morning, we have agreed on certain strategies, some which I can explain to the public, some that I do not need to make it to the public, that within the next 1 month, we need to see most of these gang leaders and gangs operating and goons facing the full force of the law, particularly those that are actually engaging in criminal activities. I also extend my plea to leaders that they must be ready to work with us. They must be ready to work with us. And anyone who is maintaining and paying young people to commit criminal offenses, cause disturbances, assault, violence, robberies, we are not just coming for the gang leaders and gangs, but we will also come for you. And it will be very painful because it will be done regardless of your status, your political position. We want to make this country safe. In fact, I dare ask myself, if we allow the situation that is happening in Western Province to continue growing, because it has been here. It's not a phenomenon that has just happened because we came to office or this administration came to office. This is something that has been almost domesticated, and a lot of compromise has been made for the longest. It is the responsibility of government to govern every part of Kenya, not to abdicate its responsibility and give any part of this country or any part of our country to goons and gangs. Therefore, a special security team shall be deployed to this region to cover all the counties in the region up to Trans Nzoia. A lot of good work is now going on in Trans Nzoia. 2 days ago, 175 goons were arrested and taken to court. In the past, we have had situations where judiciary does not understand the seriousness of this issue. In fact, part of the reason why people think that nothing can be done is because sometimes some of these people are arrested, taken to court, and they are released on free bond. And the danger with that is that because we are trying to enforce the law, nobody from the village will come to testify in court if they know that that person is not going to, the courts are not going to take seriously the issues that are related to gangs and goons. For that reason, therefore, we will extend this conversation to judiciary and the ODPP that we must work together. It is not about us. It is not about executive. It's about the country. And I really, really appreciate some of the magistrates that have done a very good job in other parts of the country to make it very punitive for these people to continue perpetrating the criminal activities that have actually been perpetrating. And therefore, the strategies we are going to put in place must bear fruit. We want to make, you remember when Mumia's East and West issue happened early this year, and the IG sent a special team to do some work. We have had relative calm, but we can do better. We can do better. Our idea is not to pacify. We must actually get rid of, so that the society, we get back to a society where political aspirants with their opponents, political leaders with their competitors, will hold same meeting, speak in same meeting, shake hands and go home in a peaceful environment. We have using a lot of resources. Every time there is a public meeting, there is a political meeting, we are deploying between 50 and 100 police officers to funerals. This is not tenable. Yet in other parts of the country, funerals happen without even a single police officer, because this is a very solemn moment and family is trying to bury their loved one. There is no reason why it is being made to become a theater of violence. And I just want to say that this is, we take this, if there is nothing we are going to take from Western region, it is I mean, if there is anything else we will want to see done in this region, and which I want you to follow as we dismantle, it is this issue of goons and gangs. And it's going to be very painful. It's going to be painful to the boys and girls, but in most cases it's boys who are involving themselves in this trade, and it's also going to be painful with those financiers and the people who are trying to maintain them. Now, because of this existence of these gangs who operate during the day as political security and gangs, at night and goons, at night they are actually utilizing their time stealing cows. In places like Butere, for example, cattle theft is very high. And again, a good amount of work was done. A number of guns were confiscated. Some people are in court, and we have said that this crackdown must continue until we end this issue of cattle theft. There is also another big problem in this place, which is the prevalence of changa, particularly this county. Whereas in other counties we deal with adulterated ethanol and other alcohol, types of alcohol that are smuggled from border counties, this county is a leading producer of changa in the Republic. I just want to say that it is the leading in the whole nation. And the danger with this is that most of this brewing of this alcohol is not to the standards of KEBS, it's not licensed, and therefore, some of it is done industrial scale and sold in the neighboring counties. I want to say that, again, a lot of good job has been done. We have netted in 6 months, in 8 months, over 30,000 liters of changa that have been confiscated, abandoned by the people. People have been charged. A good number of the suspects have been charged, and the work is going on to make sure that we deal with this issue. Also, that includes drugs, particularly marijuana. In some parts of this county, there is a level of acceptability of marijuana in some parts, especially bordering Vihiga County and other places. And a lot of work is going to be done and continues to be done to deal with the large-scale producers and distributors of bang in this county. The third issue that is of great concern is defilement. Just like Busia and Bungoma and this county, defilement cases are really alarming, you know, to the rate of 18, 15 per month. You know, there have been over 100 defilement cases in the last 8 months. That should tell you something about the prevalence of this act. This is being fueled by, part of it is this alcohol and drugs. The second one is cultural activities, particularly disco matanga. Disco matanga is also a behavior that we really need to deal with. In fact, I dare tell you that disco matanga is also contributing to, and these cultural activities around funerals is contributing to theft, because people leave their whole homes, all of them, to go for funeral the entire day, and then followed by a disco matanga, and then they leave their homes unattended to. Then the gangs and the criminals and robbers know that there is a level of vulnerability. They come and steal from people's homes. But more importantly, let me say that as a result of this issue, we have defilements that are perpetuated by Disco Matanga. The third issue is that there is concealment and the acceptability within community that even where an uncle defiles their own nieces, it is just the family will conceal, cover up, and they try to not to cooperate with the law enforcement agencies. We shall be having a honest conversation with our chiefs and assistant chiefs on what role they should play in terms of exposing these cases. We also want to have a conversation with the county government to see whether they can expand rescue centers where these defiled young girls are going to be rescued and put into, particularly where when their cases are ongoing, and also the case of gender-based violence, although they're not a very big scale, but they are there, and we want to see how best we can be able to deal with these issues. The other issues of land fraud, succession problems that are spilling over to become security issues, we are going to work together with the Ministry of Lands to deal with this issue, and officers that are involving themselves in fraudulent activities shall be dealt with. This is a summary of the top security issues in this county. We are happy that a lot of work is being done by the security team. They have requested us to bolster their strength and resources. They can be able to deal with the numbers in this county, and we are going to work on that, including